told you that grapple was a good tool. Hey YouTube, still working on this fence. So today we're going to pound in some T-posts. We're going to run a string from this pole to that metal pole over there, and that's going to give us our line. Try to line up these T-posts, and then we'll go from there. We got one more section to do, and then all our T-posts are in. It's going to be clearing some trees. Not that they're in the way, but they're kind of leaning towards the fence. So let's just take them out now before a storm comes by after I got this fence up and those trees bounce on my fence. This won't make me happy. So stay tuned and let's get this started. Alright, let's get our string around our pole. Since we want the string to come off the face of this pole on that side, what we're going to do, we're just going to tie our string over here. And that way, we get it on that face. Let's run our string down to this other pole, and we are going to be in business. Now this is high tensile wire, so you don't need a lot of posts, but I do like to spread mine about 10 feet apart. So let's figure out what we got as far as total length. About 30 feet. Good thing is the ground is soft. Try to keep your post, the face of your post, square with that string. It's a good start. So you may ask yourself, how do I know how deep to go? Well, these are 6.5 foot posts, and I have a 4-foot fence, plus I'm going to put a top wire on it, so I need about 5 feet. So that gives me 1.5 feet, about 18 inches. The blade on here, if you can see that, it's about 18 inches. So as soon as I sink that blade in the ground, I know to stop. And that's how I get a nice even look on the poles. We're going to call that good. This is one of the trees that's got to go. You can see it's leaning right up there, hanging right over what's going to be my fence. So we're going to take it out. Now, before we do that, see all this junk around it, all these weeds? We're going to go get that DR mower, see if we can clean this up, make it a little bit pretty. I like pretty. Get all them little bushes out there. You know, on camera it doesn't show as nasty as that really is. But we'll get in there. We'll get it done. Well, it's pretty now. Tell you what, if you don't have one of them DR mowers, get yourself one. Look how nice and clean that is now. Now I can saw confidently. Now, this tree is pretty rotten down at the bottom. Can you see that? So I don't want to get anywhere near this tree. So I'm going to try to use my pole saw. It's got a 14-inch bar, and it should handle this one fairly well. Right over my fence. See the T-post right there? And this son of a gun leaning right over it. Let's get something done. Well, that's not going to work. Well, I really did think that little saw would take care of this, but I guess not. Try a bigger saw. Go on. Took out a T-post. You see how that tree is unreliable? That's why I don't get up near these trees. These nasty looking ones. That thing is like a piece of rubber inside. But we got her down. One more to go. This is the other tree we're going to have to take out because it's leaning towards our fence. I'm going to try to drop it between these two H-braces. Hopefully we don't take out an H-brace. If we do, we'll just fix it. So let's get this done. Well guys, we finally made it to the final stage. We're going to try to string some fence today. We dug holes, we planted posts, we cut down trees, we cut some brush, and then of course everything it takes to video all these things going on. So it's a lot of work. You know, when the title says building a fence, it shows you there's a whole lot more that goes into it. Especially when you're trying to build, you know, through a little canyon like this. Let's get this done today. We got some new calves coming out in this pasture. I don't know if you can hear them in the background. They're just raising hell back there. We just weaned them from their mamas. Let's get it on. Let's get some of this unwound, and then we'll figure out what we need to strip. Woo. 330-foot roll. You know that's got some weight on it. We're going to use these little gripple T-clips. Try to get this end wire tied. Really a great little invention. Of course I say that, let's see if we can get it to work. It just slides through there. See how that locks that in there? And then in the end, we'll get our pliers, we'll pull this tight. You know how many men cursed the winding of this base post? Oh, this is terrible. So what we're going to do, these gripples, we're going to make sure, first of all, we'll make sure we have enough line. And then you see the bend in here? You don't want to have to deal with that. So let's cut that bend out. I think that'll make it slide through this gripple a lot easier. Look at that. And once you slide it through there, it has a little wheel in there, and it just locks it in there. So we'll get that, we'll get this tied up all the way down and move on. What happens when you work by yourself, you gotta do it all yourself. So I ran this wire down and I came up short. So instead of wrapping to this pole, I'm just going to extend this wire. So I added some gripples and made the wire longer, and I'm going to pan over that way, and you'll see I'm just going to add it to the next H-brace. And since this is over a creek, we're standing in the creek, it's going to leave it a little high on the bottom, and I'm going to let all the garbage flow under it. So there's our wire stretcher, and then we're just gonna run it to that first pole on the H-brace, and then that's where we're gonna end when we run up this hill up here. that maneuver more than once a day. Because I have the wire hanging up here, I can't get on the other side. So I reversed my puller, and I'm going to use my grapple as my anchor point. Pull that fence towards me, and then I'll staple it to this H-brace, and then we'll continue on to the last H-brace. And like I said, because I'm alone, it's easier for me to do it incrementally from H-brace to H-brace. Okay, let's get to cranking. We got it pulled. Let's see if we can get some nails in there. Now comes the not so fun part. We're going to have to clean all this wire up. I told you that grapple was a good tool. YouTube, we got our last tie in, so we're into the quarter post. So that'll do it. We still have to come back, do some T-clips. We're going to put a barbed wire top line on here. That'll discourage any jumping. And this fence will be done. Time for these T-clips. Let's get this fence pulled up. I tried to use about three per post. That'll just stand it up a little bit. That's all it takes. So, we got all our T-clips on. We get this top wire finished. And we got us a fence. Now, let that wind pass. I have one of my posts that's a little off down there, but you know, it's still going to work. You guys know the old saying, the biggest obstacle to getting a good plan done is dreams of an excellent plan. One thing you learn about living out here, everything you do is either heavy or awkward. So we got some barbed wire. Let's see if we can get this strung across the top. We're just going to tie off this end and then work our way down. And just like we did with the fencing, we're going to go H-brace to H-brace to secure this stuff. All right, we're going to be using our wire puller. There we go. So we're going to get this thing hooked on here. Pull in some slack. Now on this first leg, you don't want it too tight because we got a little bend in the fence. Okay, so we gave it a pull. Now we're just going to start connecting. I don't know, 4 to 6 inches. Now we have it pulled tight, but we don't have it pulled so crazy tight that it has more pressure than the fence. We just want this as a kind of deterrent, makes the fence look higher. Couple staples in this pole, and you get the idea. We'll just keep working our way to the end. Okay, looks like we're done on this side of the creek. Let's move everything over to the other hillside. Do the same thing, and we got us a fence. When you're pulling your wire up and down a hill, you can see the wire wants to make a straight line, and our poles actually follow the contour of the earth. So all you got to do, like I said earlier, don't go crazy with the tension initially, and see how I could just pull that down, and that's how we're going to line it up. We're going to pull it down, stick a couple nails here. On the next pole, we're going to have to pull it up, put a couple nails there, and just try to get it to follow the contour of our fence line. And so anytime you have a change of direction, remember, stick 2 nails in there, because there's going to be a lot of pressure on these nails. And ideally, see the barb? Put one on the right side of the barb, one on the left side. That way if you get a little slippage, it'll catch that barb. Also, as you're manipulating this wire, you're actually putting more tension on it. Now you see this one's just the opposite. It wants to go down. So we're going to move that up a little bit. Unfortunately, we got nothing but a big old knot right here. But we got what we got. I'll keep it in. And then we'll just grab some T-post clips and start our way up the hill with the T-post clips. So the clips are in, last 2 nails, and then we're going to take this jobber off and wrap it around this final pole. We got it. Hey, you guys did notice that I didn't put in the video of me trying to lug this 200-pound roll of wire up this hill. Just a lot of cursing going on. Give this wire a cut, wrap it around there, call it good. So we'll stick a couple nails in here. That'll suck that up a little bit.